Okay, here we go. I'm recording. Great. Here we go. So, greetings from LA, my dear, dear friends. And let me cut to the chase. So here we have a very, very popular guest on the channel making a return here. This is the sequel, part two of our discussions. It's been far too long, but better late than never. And it's all on me, so I apologize for that. But better late than never, as they say. And here we have Vanessa. Vanessa for part two. I'm very, very honored to welcome you back again. Welcome back, Vanessa.
Oh, thank you so much. It's truly a pleasure, and thank you for having me back. It's been, gosh, how many years has it been?
No,
5, 6?
maybe no,
Because
but was it something like that? Time flies. I don't know.
I
It just passed.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's funny because I, being on your channel the first time, that was the first YouTube video I think I had ever done, and I remember being so nervous. And now this time is the first time I've been back on YouTube in a few years because I used to have my own channel, but then I stopped. And this is my very first time back on YouTube after a few years. So thank you.
Wow, I'm truly honored. Wow, in on and especially now with that background, I didn't know that background. So that's so I know a little bit, but not the fact that this is your kind of return after some time today as well. So that's I'm very honored. Thank you so much for that. So this is yes, the sequel of sorts. Let me just go right into it.
Yeah.
What so this is part two. So what are some of your favorite sequels out there? If we name some films, if we go right into it, what are some of your favorite sequels? Just to give us a warm up here.
Right off the top of my head, I'm going to have to say The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings.
Oh
I
yes.
that out of the trilogy, out of the Peter Jackson trilogy, Two Towers is my favorite because it's just nonstop action from start to finish. And for me personally, I love war movies and battle sequences and that oh god. I remember seeing that in the theater with my dad and just for the whole what is it, 2.5 hours, something like that, we were just riveted to the screen and it was absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's one of my favorite sequels. Another one is probably all the Dracula Hammer films. So the ones starring Christopher Lee. I can't just pick one. I mean, they're all a wild ride and I really enjoyed those as well. And Ghostbusters too.
Oh wow, wow. So there's a
So
lot
quite the
there.
mix.
There's a lot there. So there's some Dracula discussion there. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna pick up on the Dracula thing a bit later, but oh my gosh, I didn't know that you were a Lord of the Rings fan. I didn't know that. We didn't talk about that last time, did we? If we did, I
No, because
apologize.
I
But
think last time you picked my brain mostly about classic film because
yeah,
that's what I'm known to love by
yeah.
many people is classic film, but I also love modern film just as much. And yeah, Lord of the Rings to me, I read the books, and I have to say I may upset a few people here. I prefer the films over the books. The films just bring that world to life so beautifully and eloquently. And I really enjoyed all three of them. And I was lucky enough to catch all three in the theater with my dad. And it was amazing. That whole experience. I really wish the theaters would bring them back. They may have done so in the States, but they haven't done that yet in Canada.
That's really cool. I'm also a big fan of the films that came out. It seems like only yesterday, but
I
I
know.
know I know it's actually not actually, but it seems like only yesterday. So do you let's see. So you mentioned the Two Towers. So this today is the Two Towers. We had Fellowship of the Ring a few years back, so we're due also for the Return of the King after this. So we'll have our oh gosh, we'll have our Gollum scenes, we'll have our Helm's Deep scenes, Oh my gosh, yes. I love the Two Towers actually. I
Yeah.
love that. I really do. I think it's it could also be of the trilogy, the cinematic films. I think it could also be my favorite of the trilogies. Just
I was going
it's
to ask you, out of the three, which one is your favorite? So you
yeah,
would say Two Towers?
I do like I love that one so much because it's the one where how shall I put it? Um I guess I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who has not seen the Two Towers or read the Tolkien, or but if you haven't, you should go right now and do that immediately because it's great. They're both great. But just to be very vague, but I love how it with the first film and the story it has a lot of build up, which I think it
Yeah.
does so well, and then the release of that buildup is so magnificently drawn in, I think, the Two Towers. You also get it obviously in the Return of the King, but I feel like it's that immediate the immediate satisfaction of seeing how the release of the buildup from the first film occurs, and it goes from pretty significantly intense moments to some very very triumphant highs,
Yeah.
but with a lot of ambiguity as well. And as well as, of course, introducing, which I think at the time was so technologically, it was just uh, it was a kind of it was a huge thing. It was a sort of a milestone in the way in which they rendered and created Gollum, among other things, of course. But
Yeah.
it was the first time we'd seen, right? It was the sort of reveal, kind of hinted at before, but it was just a full blown reveal, which was it was a game changer in a lot of ways.
I remember, it's funny you should mention that there are so many different highs and lows in that film. You're absolutely right. And I remember sitting in that theater and actually like breaking out into a cold sweat because of the amount of tension, and not just in the battle sequences, but in those highs and lows.
Mm.
Because Two Towers is just up and down constantly, and you're being thrown from one world, or not one world, but one scene to another. And yeah, I was just sweating by the end of the film. I remember just being soaked.
It's
And yeah.
it's pretty intense. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Oh gosh, and Brad Dourif, I love Brad Dourif. Oh gosh, the acting is fantastic. But anyway, yeah, that's a great choice. That is really Two Towers. So you went to Two Towers, and then Ghostbusters 2. I also saw this in the theater. So tell me a little bit about that. Unpack that a little bit for me. Why Ghostbusters 2 here? This is great.
I have a lot of fond childhood memories about watching films. So I grew up, I was born in 82, and I grew up with a very strict but also very liberal family. So my family is all Italian and we're very traditional. However, my family was always very lenient when it came to film. So my dad and I mean, since I've been little, he's always taken me to the movies. And with Italians, we're all very close. So we always used to go as a group, and not everyone in my family spoke English at that time. I
Mm.
remember my grandparents came with us a few times to see films, and I mean, they knew basic English, so they could get by. But yeah, it used to be a family thing. And I remember with Ghostbusters 2, just being so entertained by that film. It was just so fun. And at that age, I may not have gotten all the jokes. In fact, I didn't get all the jokes, but I still laughed because I guess the cast's comedic timing was so on point that even though I didn't quite understand what they were talking about, I still got it. Like, I still laughed. And yeah, I just have very fond memories, particularly of that movie. And gosh, I miss those days. I really miss those days. I get so nostalgic when, for instance, I'm switching channels on TV and Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters 2 is on, and I'll just stop and watch for a few minutes, and it's just feel like a kid again.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great choice. Ghostbusters you mentioned, and Ghostbusters 2. Um, that's uh, right. It was it. Uh, there's something strange in the neighborhood. Who are you gonna call? He-Man. I love that at the beginning, right? I love that. That's so much. It's like mixed two parts of my childhood, which I love so much, like He-Man toys and then Ghostbusters. It was great. It was like the downfall of the Ghostbusters at the start of the film. Like no one loves the Ghostbusters. I love that. That's so great.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. And then the whole thing with the slime and like the Statue of Liberty and all this stuff. Yeah, it's and um the guy. What's the guy's name? The character's name.
Oh, the
Janosch.
villain.
Janosch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. The right. At the art gallery
Yeah,
that
that
Dana
big
worked at.
painting.
Yes, that's
Oh,
right. Vigo, right. And uh let's see. I mean, speaking of right, it's Vigo, right? Speaking of Lord of the Rings and Vigo. But anyway,
yeah.
the guy's name was Janosch, and for some reason afterwards, my at the time I was a little kid, we had a dog, a little terrier named Maggie, and my mom loved the film Ghostbusters 2, and we're just talking about the characters. Oh, there's this character named Janos, and maybe we're in the park or something, and then at that particular moment there was a squirrel running in the park or something, and my
Okay.
dog was chasing, just chasing after the squirrel, just running around in the field. And then the next time we went to the park or something, or going for a walk, we're talking about Ghostbusters 2 again. And then maybe my mom, or I said something, oh, there's a character, Janosch. And my dog suddenly like went like that with his head. Like what? Like, because we had mentioned before Janosch, and at that point there was a squirrel. So I think at that
He
point,
associated it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for my dog, Janosch meant squirrel. So so every time we went to we went to, oh, there's a squirrel. We'd always say, oh, there's a Janosch. So, but anyway, yes, and so yeah,
That's
that
such a
continued.
sweet
But
story.
anyway, yes, it's Ghostbusters 2 because of that great character. That's great. I love it. Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah. Do you see
Yeah,
though how it evokes so many memories? Like not just for me, but for lots of people. It's
yeah,
yeah, it's a good feeling.
yeah. I totally agree. Is it have you seen any of the recent entries in the now Ghostbusters the cinematic universe or?
No, the last Ghostbusters film I watched was the one where it was the all women cast, all female cast.
Yeah.
And you know what? Okay, I'm going to be 100% honest. Before having seen that film, I was very against it. I'm like, first of all, why did they have to remake it? Second of all, why does it need to be all female? And this is coming from a woman.
Mm,
So I was very against it until I actually sat down. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have an open mind and I'm going to watch this film. And I actually really enjoyed it. For me, it was a lot of fun.
mm.
I mean, it doesn't compare to the original Ghostbusters, obviously. That's almost impossible to do. But I really enjoyed it. And I kind of had to have a talk with myself. And it's like, you know what, Vanessa? You have to keep that open mind. And just because someone wants to remake a classic film and have it be all female, there's nothing wrong with that. Sure, not everyone will enjoy it, but that's okay. We're not all going to like the same things. So that was the last, I guess, in the franchise that I've seen. I haven't seen, have there been two others or one other new one?
Yeah, I think there was the two of them, I think I haven't seen uh there's it Frozen Empire, the most recent one, I think. I
Yeah, no,
haven't
I
seen that
haven't
one.
seen it.
So I'm very terrible when it comes to watching the most recent stuff. So but as you say, there is something about when Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters 2 comes on, or it becomes maybe available or something. Just sit down and watch it. I feel the
Yeah.
exact same way. Yeah, that's wonderful. Ghostbusters 2. What was the name of the Bobby Brown, right? Bobby Brown did the song, right? Yeah, yeah. I always wanted to have that like at the time it was the cassette tape. You needed to buy this cassette tape, but I could never.
Yeah,
My
the cassette. Yeah.
yeah, but my mom wouldn't buy it for me, we couldn't find it in the store for whatever reasons, right? So you'd have to rely on if you could catch it on the radio at the
And then
right time.
record it. Yeah.
Exactly, but or watch it on TV if it was on like MTV, but you had to be lucky because you didn't know when the video would come on. But anyway, well done, Vanessa. And oh, Dracula. Yes. Christopher Lee, Hammer horror and Dracula. So yes, tell me more. We spoke a little bit about Dracula before, but yeah, tell me more. This is great.
So the I was 5 or 6 when my aunt, again, see, my family always comes into this.
Mm.
My aunt showed me a VHS copy of the 1931 Dracula when I was 5 or 6. I don't know what possessed her to show me that film at that age, because I mean, yeah, I was scared. Um, and it wasn't because the film is not gory. It's actually kind of safe in terms of gore. There's no blood in it, I don't think. And it's very quiet and it's very wooden. Some may say it's a bit boring, and I'm not going to disagree. But having seen that at 5 or 6 years old, the magnetism and the powerful performance of Bela Lugosi, oh my God, that's what scared me. The intensity just of him staring, breaking the fourth wall and just staring at the viewer through the camera lens. I was, I was scared shitless. Sorry for swearing. But you know what? That kickstarted just a love of not only Dracula, but in vampire films. And ever since then, I've watched any vampire film I could get my hands on, or any vampire film that has been released. And I remember one day I came home from school. I think I must have been maybe 11 or 12. And my mom had gone shopping that day, and I came home from school and she presented me with a VHS copy of Horror of Dracula, which
Yeah.
is just Dracula in the UK. So in North America, it's called Horror of Dracula, and starring Christopher Lee. And I was looking at the cover of this VHS going, that's not Bela Lugosi. I'm not going to
Mm.
like this. Oh my goodness. So that film kickstarted a love of Hammer horror. At that time, I had no idea who Christopher Lee was. I had no idea what Hammer was, but I watched Horror of Dracula for the first time that evening, obsessed. And that's the thing with me. Once I experience something that I absolutely love for the first time, I developed like an obsession with it where I need to learn everything I can about it. I need to possess everything that's associated with it. So if you look behind me, all these books here, those
Mhm.
are all film books. And I started collecting those. I think I got my first one when I was 10.
Hmm.
So I've been collecting film books for like 30, 35 years. And yeah, it's an obsession. I need to learn everything I can about classic film because I love it so much. And that's exactly how I felt the first time I saw Horror of Dracula and all the subsequent Hammer sequels with Christopher Lee.
Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. I remember seeing one of the earliest Hammer horror films I saw as a kid on TV. This was in the UK, I think, at the time I was a kid. Was late night TV broadcast of the Satanic Rites of Dracula.
Oh, yes!
Yeah, that was that
I
was
mean,
late night. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
they're cheesy. They're
yeah.
they're very cheesy, and it's not like modern horror where it scares you to death, but it's just a pure fun ride.
Yeah,
And those films are fantastic, and
yeah.
the actors, the stable of actors that Hammer had, like Peter Cushing, come on, man, he was, oh man, what a legend. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great choice. Oh, and that that kind of I think one of the times you were very kindly joining quickly on a live stream, maybe a month or so back, you engendered a really nice talk about Dracula and vampire films. So remind us again. So you talked a little. So you talked about you watch uh, any vampire film you can. So what about some other vampire films or Dracula films? Let's go with oh gosh, I don't know. How about Francis Ford Coppola's Bram
Oh,
Stoker's
God.
Dracula?
This may kickstart a whole debate now in the
No, please.
comment
That's okay.
section.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
It's personally, it's one of my favorites. I know it's not everyone's favorite because it is quite campy, I have to say, but it's so exciting. That came out in 92. I was 10. And again, my parents took me to go see it in the theater. I don't
Mm,
know what they were thinking because it's quite a sexy film. There is nudity in it.
yeah.
And my mom fell asleep because
Mm.
she's not really into horror films or Dracula films. She just went, to keep my dad and I company. So she fell asleep. My dad and I did not say a word until the end credits rolled. Just from start to finish, our full attention was on the screen. And it's not just the performances I love from on that film. It's the set design, it's the costume design, it's the soundtrack. Like that score, I have it on vinyl actually.
Oh,
It's one of
cool.
my favorite film scores because there's so much power in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the choice of instruments they chose or just the fluctuations of the actual score itself. It's just beautiful. And if you like really crank it, oh my God, like it gets your heart palpitating in your chest. It's just so exciting.
Yeah, yeah. I had that soundtrack not on vinyl, unfortunately, but I had it on cassette tape.
CD?
Yeah, or it was
Cassette
a
tape,
cassette tape,
wow.
or yes, but I don't have it anymore. But then I think I got it on CD. I forget. But yes, you're right. Uh, that is an intense
Yeah.
and very romantic score. Like so intensely romantic. Everything about this just boom, boom. Yeah, just everything is at
Yeah. It's like everything's turned up to 11 in that
yeah,
film. Everything. The
yeah,
story, the music, the appearance. Oh God. So
yeah.
yeah, no, for me, it's a personal favorite.
Oh, that's a that I think is a film too that I mean the fact that you were able to see it in the theater, that's very impressive with your family and your parents, and the fact that your mom slept through it, that's also very impressive. Really, like wow, that's amazing. That's great. And that your dad you and watched it. And as you say, it's a very it's a very, how should I put it?
Risque.
Uh, yeah, very risque, very bloody, um, uh, like really, really bloody. And
Yeah.
there's some very gory scenes in that.
It's
Um,
like it's drenched in blood.
that's right.
Really.
That's right. And it was a big hit at the time, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, if I remember correctly. And it won the costume design won, I think Aiko Ishioka won, I think, at the time Academy Awards. So yeah, it was a big deal, a really big deal. And Anthony Hopkins is just like over the top. He's just
Yeah.
what happened? He's just like everything is just like he just had 10 cups of coffee before each take. It was
Yeah,
that kind of
exactly.
it was
But
great.
like Anthony Hopkins, for me, him, Gary Oldman, and Sadie Frost, who
Oh yeah,
played Lucy,
yeah,
their the three of their performances make that film.
yeah.
I mean, Keanu Reeves, God love him, he wasn't the best in that film.
Okay.
I found him quite wooden, quite stiff. But Gary Oldman, I mean, he's fantastic in everything. The man, he's just a genius on screen. And yeah, Hopkins, and Sadie Frost, which
Yeah.
not enough people talk about. She didn't make very many films. She was mostly known as a model in England, but she was just fantastic. I think it was actually her first film that she made. I could be wrong about that, but my goodness, if that was her first film, geez, she like knocked it out of the park.
And in many ways, her I mean, her character and the look of it, and what happens to her character,
Yeah.
it many ways it's the sort of the poster image of the film. It's very representative, and that is like in many ways it could be like the definitive modern, like, what a scary vampire looks like, that kind of thing. You just
Yes.
look at what they did with how they presented her character in that.
Yeah.
It's yeah, yeah, and Bram Stoker's Dracula. So oh, this is great, Vanessa. This is great. So we've already gone almost 30 minutes, and I haven't gone through. I wrote some questions out. So I'm trying to do this a little bit differently. Just write some questions tailored to my guest. But as you can see, Vanessa, my dear friends, is a wonderful, gracious guest who is just just filled with so much energy for cinema. And oh, I'm sorry, that was what I forgot, which was, before I get to some of my questions here, I have to ask, what are some of your recommendations of film books that you have? You mentioned you have film books from way back even. So what are some recommendations, or some titles you'd like to mention here while we have a
Okay.
moment?
This could take another 30 minutes.
Yeah, please go for it. Go
That
for it.
is the wrong question to ask me.
No, not at all. Please, please.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep this short. Right
No, no,
off the
please.
bat, my favorite autobiography is Gloria Swanson's. So it's called Swanson on Swanson. She wrote it, I think, in the early 80s, and she ended up passing away a few years later. Uh, oh, if for those of you who don't know Gloria Swanson, she was essentially one of film's pioneers, because she was around from almost from the very beginning in the 1910s, and she just stuck around. I mean, she obviously made her big comeback in Sunset Boulevard, and then she did a lot of TV work after that. But Gloria Swanson was very petite. She was very small. I think she was just like 5 feet tall. So very, very tiny. But man, when you see her early silence, she was just, you cannot take your eyes off her on screen. She's just one of those people that had a certain quality that photographed very well on screen. So you're riveted to her performance, and everyone else in the scene just goes away. She is her book. She was very honest, very truthful, and not in a malicious way. So if you can imagine, back then in the dawn of Hollywood, when she just started working in film, you could imagine how women were treated. And I'm not saying that to be it's sounding like I hate men, because I absolutely love men. But back then, it was a totally different world. There were different expectations for women.
Mhm.
And it was essentially, being a film actress was frowned upon. It was almost like being a prostitute.
Mhm.
So the way she was treated by men within the industry, she just lays it all on the page. She's
Mhm.
very frank, very truthful. And while reading this book, I'm thinking, oh my God, like, she's talking about some of the people that I idolize, because I love silent film. And it makes you think, like, my God, yeah, on screen, these men were awesome. They're geniuses. But in real life, behind the camera, I cannot believe that they thought it was okay to be treating women the way they did. But it was a different time. I mean, I'm not making excuses for them. It's just a different time. So that book is my favorite, because it is so eye-opening and so impactful, especially if you're a woman reading it. And I think, you know what, men who read this book, Swanson on Swanson, I think men can actually learn a lot from it as well, take away a lot from it. Because I think there are still people being treated very poorly in the film industry, and I think maybe we can learn a lot from previous experiences, especially from a female point of view. So that's my favorite autobiography. Oh gosh. I think some of my favorite coffee table books
Sure.
are the ones that focus on studio photographers. For instance, George Harrell, who photographed a lot of the MGM stable of actors and actresses. Just flipping through those books, I mean, if you're a classic film lover like I am, just looking at the way things were lit, the way pictures were composed, the way they were dressed, the way they had their hair styled. You learn a lot just from looking through those photos. For instance, one of the things I learned was that almost everyone in classic films had to wear wigs, and that includes the men, because the studio lighting was so bright that you could see the scalp. You could see actors and actresses' scalps because the light was just so harsh. And when it lights up the scalp that way, the actor or actress can tend to look like they're balding. So everyone wore wigs and toupees, which I didn't even think about that. It never occurred to me. But since learning that, now every time I watch a classic film, you could see like the hairlines of the wigs. And yeah, everyone is wearing them. It's just fascinating stuff. Through all the books I've accumulated and all the books I've flipped through and read, like from years and years ago of collecting. Yeah, the stuff you learn is incredible, and that's why I keep buying them. I can't. It's an obsession for me. It's an obsession because, again, I never want to stop learning.
That's great. Oh, those are great titles to recommend. Thank you very much for recommending them. I'll have to. I haven't read the Gloria Swanson book, so I'll have to. I'll your recommendation is it still in print?
No, it's been out of print for a number of years, but
Okay.
you can find first edition copies and reprints
Okay.
on places like Amazon, or if I know you may be able to find one in person because in LA, correct me if I'm wrong, there's quite a few independent bookshops where they sell film books. So you may be able to find a used copy that way. I found mine online. And as much as I don't like admitting that I shop on Amazon, for certain things like film books, it's just the easiest avenue to acquire these things. And yeah, all of them, most of them that I have are all used first edition copies. And yeah, I think you can even find Swanson on Kindle. So
Oh, really?
if you're
Okay.
not into searching for a used copy, I think you could download it on Kindle as well.
Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. That's um what was it? What was the most recent, or what was the most recent book that you read or that are currently reading on the film subject?
Okay, so the most recent book I've read is one by Ben Modell. He is a silent film. I call him an expert. To me, he's a silent film expert, and he is an accompanist. So he goes around. He's based in New York, and anytime there is a silent film screening, he will go and he will play the organ to accompany that silent film. So he's fantastic, and I think he also teaches now at university. So he wrote a book recently, I think it came out a couple months ago, about silent film. It's called The Silent Film Universe.
Hmm.
And I finished reading that last week. And I don't want to give too much away because I would love for people to pick up this book. There are things that he reveals in this book that once they're in your head, once you've read them, you can't unsee them. So now every time I watch a silent film, I think of the things that he's taught me through that book.
Huh.
So it's like okay, I'll give you an example.
Yes, please,
I said
please.
I didn't want to ruin anything because I want people to read this book, but one of the things he talks about is Buster Keaton.
Hmm.
So in one of his films, there's a famous scene where him and his romantic lead, I think, yeah, they are married at that point. So him and his wife are carting something. I don't want to spoil too much, but they're carting something across a set of railroad tracks, and it gets stuck. And they can hear a train coming in the distance. And they're like, oh my God, they're scrambling to get this thing off the track because it's stuck and a train is going to come and just bulldoze right through it. So they get it unstuck. And now they're crossing the other railroad tracks. The train zips by, so it misses them. But then, like 2 seconds later, a train from the opposite direction comes through and it smashes through whatever they were carrying. So it's like, phew, they missed the first train, but then 2 seconds later, it just gets bulldozed by another train that's coming from the opposite direction. And Ben Modell in the book, he's like, but didn't they hear the second train coming? They heard the first one, but there was no reaction on screen to them hearing the second train coming. So it's like, oh my God, I never even considered that. Like the amount of times that I've seen that particular scene or I've watched that particular film, that never occurred to me. So it's like this guy, he's picking up on things that should automatically occur to us while we're watching these films, but it doesn't until someone points it out to you.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about educating myself with all these books behind me. It's just you learn so much, and I don't know, your eyes are opened.
Oh, that's great. As you were speaking, I was just trying to see if I could find a copy. So, as you say, it was recently well, there's a hardback and a paperback available, I think. So, I'll
You know
have to.
what? I'm going to turn around and grab it. Do you want me to show you so I could,
Oh,
so
would
the
you
eyes,
mind? That would be
okay.
so
Give
cool.
me a
I
sec.
don't.
You can edit
Please.
this bit out, but
Oh,
I'll
please,
grab it.
please.
Hang
No,
on.
no, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Um,
Okay.
Fantastic.
So I'm back. This is the one I
Yes.
just mentioned, The
I.
Silent Film Universe by Ben Modell. And it's, you know what, it's not a huge book. It's very approachable and it's not scholarly in any way. It's very casually written. It's almost like while reading this book, you're just having a conversation over coffee with Ben. So it is very approachable, even for someone who's very new to silent film. So this was absolutely great. It's
Cool.
just, it's very eye-opening. And the things he talks about in this book, again, once you read them and learn them, you can't unsee them.
Huh.
And then this is the
Yeah.
Gloria Swanson's autobiography. So Swanson on Swanson. And this one is quite a beast. It's big, but to me, it went by very quickly. It reads very quickly because it's no nonsense. She tells it like it is, and yeah, just fantastic book, fantastic woman. She's one of my personal heroes. I absolutely love Gloria Swanson.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this. This is great. Absolutely great. I don't I don't speak enough about film books. So it's wonderful that you're providing this opportunity here to showcase some of your favorites here. in a whole shelf, many shelves of such books. So, including the most recent read that you have. So that's great. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have to get me some of those copies that when I can. So this is great. Gosh, so that gosh. Now let me go to maybe some of the questions here. I'm gonna try to pick out one. Let's see here. Um, Okay. Okay. So here we go. Here. So as I say, I'm just trying to present some questions here for my guests. So for Vanessa, let me start with this. Oh yes, yes. Okay. Here we go. You had said maybe last month or so about how, and please correct me if my memory is incorrect here, but you had said that at that time you had just seen The Graduate for the first time, right, the film The Graduate. You had just seen The Graduate, and it was the first time you had seen The Graduate. And I think you had mentioned something like um, it was your first time watching the film, and you were expressing how you took to the film, but also you were saying how it was a film that maybe it's so famous, so but right, it was just you were just watching it for the first time very recently. So I guess my question is, what are some of those other films that you haven't seen yet, but it's like the big films that you really want to see, but you just haven't had a chance to see yet. So you'd seen The Graduate for the first time recently, and what are some of those other titles that like? What did you put it? You feel like you should have seen, but haven't just for whatever reason, just haven't been able to see it. What are some of those other titles that are on your radar, so to speak?
Okay, off the top of my head, I'm going to say Cabaret.
Oh, yes.
As a young kid, some of the very first classic films that I fell in love with were musicals, and I feel like I should have seen Cabaret by now, starring Liza Minnelli. I think, what is that set? It was 1970 something when it came out.
That's
Can't
right.
remember, but I feel like I
Very
should have
similar.
watched that by now, and I haven't. Another one, and again, I may upset some people,
No, that's okay.
but
No, it's okay.
go easy on me. Star Wars, the original trilogy. Now, let me explain. I have tried multiple times. I think it's like something like 4 or 5 times to get into Star Wars because I love sci-fi and I love action movies. So I don't know what it is, but I just cannot seem to get into it. Again, I've tried to watch the first one that was released 4 or 5 times and I just can't do. I end up switching it off after like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And growing up as a teenager, I worked in a movie theater for something like 5 years. And I was working in it when the new trilogy came out.
Hmm.
And I saw those because I worked there and we just got free tickets. I saw those, I was able to get into them and I found them very entertaining. But everyone tells me, oh, the original trilogy is 100 times better. You got to watch those. I just can't get into it. I don't know what
Interesting.
it is.
Interesting. So this is so interesting. So so you say around 40 minutes. So do you remember like what part of the film, like what?
No, I
Okay,
don't.
interesting.
It's not
Wow.
even left an impression on me.
Wow. Um
Like
and
I know the cast, I know who's in it. I know that Peter Cushing was even in it.
that's right. That's right. Yes.
And as much as I love Peter Cushing, I still cannot get into these movies, and I don't know
So
why.
that's okay. Not a problem. So it's
So I feel like I should have seen those by now,
oh
but
gosh.
I
So
haven't.
maybe I should try to. I'll try to avoid spoilers for Star Wars
I
since
mean,
no, okay,
by this point,
okay,
if I come across
interesting.
spoilers, it's my own fault.
No, 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 no. That's okay.
But
That's
yeah, I don't know. And then the other one off the top of my head I can think of is The Godfather, and a few
uh,
people already know this story. I have not been able to watch The Godfather, not because I can't get into it, but because it hits a bit too close to home. So
mm,
again, my whole
mm,
family's Italian. were very traditional Italian. And my parents actually, when they got married in 1975, they had the Godfather theme as their wedding song. If
Wow.
you can believe that.
Wow, that's great. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it hits too close to home, and I can't get through it. Like when
Mm,
there's the one scene that I always end up stopping at, and I can't go further past it, is when I don't even know the guy's name. He's beating up his wife. He's wearing like a white
oh yeah,
undershirt,
yeah, yeah,
and he's
yeah,
just physically abusing her
yeah,
so bad. And I
yeah,
think she's pregnant.
yeah. That's
Okay,
right.
so that's the scene that I always stop at. I can't make it
Yeah,
past that because it hits too.
yeah,
No, can't watch it.
yeah. That's a very shocking scene
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. Yeah, right. Obviously, right. So, oh, I see. I see.
One day
Mm,
maybe I'll force myself to watch it because I know that a lot of people it's their favorite film, the Godfather 1 and 2. 3 I've heard mixed about,
mm,
but
mm.
again I haven't seen them so I don't know. But one day I hope to watch all of these films because I'm kind of embarrassed.
Well,
As
no
much as a
need.
classic film fan that I am, I'm embarrassed to say no, I've not seen these movies.
No need to feel embarrassed at all. I mean, this is really really important because it just shows, I think, how, I mean, among other things, it shows right, people have their own personal uh viewpoints and tastes in cinema, which is right. So it's not like, it's not cinema. I mean, there are many films that maybe a number of people might have seen in terms of cross-sectionally, but at the same time, it's not monolithic.
Mm.
So, and nor should it be. So, and maybe some films, maybe in our generation and in our neck of the woods, uh, maybe some films are seen as being, more maybe prevalent than others. But
Yeah.
who's to say that's the case elsewhere in the world, or with other perspectives? And you're right. You're right. It's like cinema is way too big for that kind of right, right. It's way too big for everyone to have seen every single film. So you're absolutely right to. I mean, this is great. This is great. But I guess the follow-up would be, what was it about, like, a film like The Graduate, that you see? Was it just, I mean, you mentioned too something interesting. Maybe I'll try to get into it again or something like that. I mean, there are films that you try to get into, but maybe it just didn't click for you at the time, or maybe it just, whatever it was at the moment. But then there are other films that, maybe you mentioned Cabaret, but you haven't seen that film yet, right? So it's just maybe finding the time to sit down with the film. So it seems like there are films that you've tried, but maybe you have to try again if you're up for that, or films that you just haven't seen at all, just because
Mhm.
it just hasn't happened, right? Or the schedule hasn't, the stars haven't aligned, as they say. So
Yeah.
um
And
with The Graduate, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead, please.
there's been a few films where I tried watching it the first time, didn't like it, but then I tried a second time and I really liked it. So I think it sometimes it has to do with where you are in life or even your age, your maturity. Maybe that a particular film isn't for you yet. So if you wait a few years or wait till you're maybe more settled or more mature in life and you try watching it again, you may actually like it the second time. And there's been, off the top of my head, there's been two occurrences that have happened to me that way, where the first time I absolutely didn't like it, but then the
Hmm.
second time they became two of my favorite films.
Oh, and
You
they
want to
are,
know
oh my
what
god,
they
yes,
are?
I'm on the edge of my seat. Oh my
The
god.
suspense.
Please,
The
please.
first one is Nosferatu. So
Okay.
the original, the silent film, I think, what is that, 1926? I think.
Hmm.
Oh, God, I could be wrong, but in the 20s. First time I watched that was when I was newly obsessed with Dracula. So I was maybe 10.
Hmm.
It was after I had seen the 31 version with Bela Lugosi, and I just wanted to watch every single Dracula or vampire movie I could find. And I sat down and I was too young. I was too young to fully appreciate Nosferatu because it it's slower pace. So that I would say the first half of that film is a lot of storytelling and setting up what's going to happen in the second half of the film.
Oh.
So I was just too young. And when I watched it again as a teenager, oh God, I loved it. I loved the creepiness of it.
Hmm.
And I loved the buildup. So I really got into the storytelling in the first half of the film that bored me a few years before. And I just loved it. It's so creepy. Like it just makes your skin crawl. And then the other time that happened where I hated it the first time but loved it the second time was Reality Bites. And that's what,
Wow.
1990, God,
Oh
90.
gosh.
I can't, I
Yeah.
don't know off the top of my head. But first time I watched it again, I think it had to do with age. I couldn't relate to the characters because the characters in that film, I think, are in their early 20s at that time. They had just
Mhm.
graduated college. And I watched it when I was maybe 12 or 13. I couldn't relate to it. But the second time I watched it, that's now in my top 5. I love that film.
Me too. I love that film so
Yeah.
much. Yeah. 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 Oh, Reality Bites.
Yeah. It was on TV actually a couple weeks ago.
No
And I
kidding,
just
really.
happened to catch it. And yeah, I watched it and I'm like, I love
Yeah.
this film. Love it.
Yeah. It's that's like in many ways one of the great like 90s early
Yeah,
90s movies. Yeah. Yeah. I remember.
absolutely.
Oh, that's so great. I mean, you spoke about Bram Stoker's Dracula and
Yeah.
Winona Ryder and yeah, that's great. So, oh wow. Wow. So Reality Bites and Nosferatu. This is great. I love this. So Vanessa, you have such a great, wide-ranging, eclectic view, which is fantastic, and you embrace it. The other thing too, I wanted to ask. You mentioned, you'd mentioned your things about Star Wars, and also you like science fictions. What are some of the science fiction films that you'd say that you enjoy?
My all-time favorite would have to be Terminator 2.
Oh
Come
wow.
on. Come on.
Wow. I'm so sorry. I just like I'm you're I was all set to because you as you said earlier, maybe people have this impression of you that you focus on or not focus, but you watch a lot of golden age
Yeah.
cinema, and you do
And that's
obviously,
fair. Yeah.
but this is really quite I'm this is v- I'm like I'm like it's like I'm trying to catch up with you on the running track. I'm just like stopping and just trying to catch my breath. This is wonderful. So okay, Terminator 2, please. Judgment Day, please.
Again, another film I watched, I think it was in the theater. And my dad is probably the one who brought me. That was another one in 92, I think. Same year as Dracula, or it could be 91.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so thankful for my dad, really. And I probably don't say this enough, but because of him, mostly him and a few other family members, I don't think that I would be the film lover I am today if it wasn't for him.
Hmm.
He didn't care if there was swearing. He didn't care if there was nudity or sex. I think he knew that his daughter was open minded and mature enough to see these films for what they were rather than being scared, oh God, is she going to start saying the F word now? Or, oh, is she going to start sleeping with people now that she's watched sex scenes in the theater? So I have to give him a lot of credit.
Hmm.
I don't think, especially coming from such a strict traditional background, I don't think a lot of Italian fathers let their kids be exposed to these films so early on. But yeah, Terminator 2, geez. I remember, I think the last time my dad and I watched that together was sometime last year, and we were at my sister and brother in law's house, and my two younger nephews were there, and we just watched it together as a family. And it was my nephew's first time seeing that film, and they
Oh,
loved it.
wow.
They absolutely loved it. And I remember sitting in that room, just watching their faces. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope they love this film as much as I do. I hope they like it. And yeah, Terminator 2. And Aliens. Oh, come on. That's another sci fi favorite of mine. Aliens.
That's
Sigourney
just
Weaver, my dad had a crush on her for the longest time. I think he still does. And I remember as a kid, I always used to say, "Oh, Dad, look, it's your girlfriend." So like anytime you watch Ghostbusters
that's right.
or Alien, I'm like, "Oh, Dad, look, it's your girlfriend." Yeah,
Oh,
on
I didn't.
some.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow. Sigourney Weaver. That's
Mm,
great. And
she's a babe.
Aliens. And she. Oh, she had so many great. Oh, and still does. Right. But uh, right, Ghostbusters. You mentioned Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
Aliens. Alien 3. The
You know what? Alien Romulus, the newest one, that was fantastic. I really liked that.
I just saw that for the first time on disc. Someone gifted it to me. I was
Yeah.
also very impressed with it. Yes.
So you liked it.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah, I found like the second half, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Yeah. And what they did, yeah, with kind of how it concludes with its sort
Yeah,
of the final what right all it, it's oh okay, that's interesting. And they did it in a way that I mean, I think it was quite effective. Yeah, how it was shot and lit and everything. It could have
yeah,
gone really, really badly, but I think it stuck the landing, I think.
yeah, I liked
But
it.
yeah, so oh, it's interesting. So this is your sci-fi background. Terminator 2 is a great. That's it. I think it's aged. So I don't think it doesn't feel. I mean, it's obviously made many many years ago, but it still doesn't feel.
Dated?
Yeah, it doesn't feel
You
dated at
know,
all. It feels
especially
quite.
now with all this AI stuff,
Oh
makes you
yeah,
wonder, oh, was
yeah.
Sarah Connor right?
Oh yes, that's right. And and yeah, gosh, yes, yes. Um, uh, it's very prescient.
Mm,
So, oh my gosh, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So that is also a key film from me growing up because
yeah.
right, because I think we're sort of in the similar the same generation. So
Yeah, same age group.
yes,
Yeah. I
so
think
I
for
was
a lot of kids our
yeah.
age, that was a big one for a
It
lot of
was.
us.
Yeah. And for I think for that age group it was you knew about the Terminator. You might have seen the Terminator maybe on VHS, but I think and which is its own right classic in many ways. But I think for a lot of people growing up at that time, it was Terminator 2 that sealed the deal. And it was
Yes,
like
it had a
you know
larger impact. At
exactly.
least on me, it did.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so because it felt like it just felt it was such a kind of a huge like marketing campaign. Like they had Happy Meal, like they had "Hasta la vista, baby" was just all over the
Yeah, the
place, and
catchphrase. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it was
I'll be
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, exactly, all this stuff going on, and I remember even for like even they had a Happy Meal. Do you remember around the same time they had the Steven Spielberg film? What was it, Hook?
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
I
Hook.
love that
Yeah,
film.
so Hook they had with Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams
Yes.
and they had Hook toys for the Happy Meals in the
Mm,
McDonald's, right? Happy Meals, but then they'd have the commercials with the kids playing with the Hook toys that you could get in the Happy Meal. So buy the Happy Meals, right? So that, but it was the little boy in the commercials, like he was playing with the Hook toys, but he was saying like "Hasta la vista, Hook." So they're using the
Bec-
Terminator 2 catchphrase
yeah,
for
because it became such a
huge.
huge part of pop culture.
Yeah, yeah. It was huge. It,
Yeah. I mean, even if you weren't talking about Terminator or marketing Terminator, those catchphrases still made it in.
so even for the Steven Spielberg Hook Happy Meal toy, they're bringing
Yeah.
in Terminator 2 language. That's great. So Hook, guys, I mentioned Hook. So you said you love Hook.
Loved it. Rufio. Remember
Oh yes,
Rufio?
of
The
course.
chant?
Yes,
Oh, come
yes,
on, Daisuke. Yeah.
yes, yes. Or what about the scene? What was it? Like, he goes like Robert, like, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
want to watch it now. Oh,
I know that film. I don't think gets a lot of it. Relatively speaking, maybe there are more films in the Spielberg directed canon that might get more attention.
yeah.
In the grand scheme of things. But that film, I think, is up for. Yeah, right. I don't know. People should be talking about that more. It's it's
I
uh
think so.
it's a great Robin Williams performance. It
Yeah.
kind of starts muted as it should because of the character arc, but then it just like grows and expands as it should because of how the character is set up. And it's about aging, and it's about it's right. And uh, there's um there's a real storybook quality to the
Mhm.
set design. It's not like a CGI world kind of that we might be used to.
No,
It's very like it feels like it's a constructed
tangible.
storybook. Yeah, it's like a constructed storybook. It's not like realism, but
Yeah,
it feels like it's
agreed.
its own. It's like you're in a it's almost like you're in
A
the theme
fantasy
park.
world.
Yeah, but it's a theme park kind of construction, which I think at the time was maybe criticized. People were thinking it felt too artificial looking, but I think
Mhm.
it works very well because
Yeah,
it's meant to be that kind of. It works well in a sort of theme park type of construction. You're on a boat that feels kind of, I don't want to say like a set, but it feels like it's obviously constructed, but it's just like the stuff as kids you'd go to the theme parks, attraction rides, and you'd be there. So it has that feel to it. So it's almost like it's a tangible way for kids who would have that connection to that world by going to the theme park attractions, or something like that. That would be a tangible way in, so to speak. So
100%. And
yeah,
you know what? I thought it while you were explaining that, Wizard of Oz. It's the same quality
yeah, yeah,
where it's obviously visually manufactured.
yeah.
Like you can tell that's not a real place, but it's just so fantastical and tangible that it just captures kids' imaginations and adults too. Like, I mean, I've watched The Wizard of Oz a few times at the cinema. It's been re-released here a couple times. And it's lovely to see people of all ages in the theater watching it, and young and old. It's just everyone in that theater is mesmerized by it. And I think if Hook were to be re-released, it would be the same thing, young and old, age groups varying, not just kids sitting there watching it. Just, I love films like that. It just brings people together, it makes people happy, and it's like pure escapism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm trying to catch up with you on the running track here. So we're going from like
Mm.
to, cabaret to oh gosh, So Gloria Swanson, Cabaret, um
Terminator 2,
Terminator
Lord of
2,
the
Hook,
Rings.
Lord of the Rings, Hook, and then Wizard of Oz. And I feel like that I'm coming back because we know Wizard of Oz and Judy Garland and Cabaret and Liza. Oh my gosh, I'm this is great. I'm absolutely fantastic. Gosh, I can't keep up. This is wonderful.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
no, 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 no. This is great. No, this I say that wholeheartedly, positively. This is wonderful. This is a type of conversation I really enjoy and thrive on. So, um, gosh, um,
Where do you want to go next, Daisuke? What
yeah.
era?
Well, so I guess uh, let me try to throw out a creative, fun question for you here. I hope you think it's fun. Which
Yes.
is okay. So, given all of your sort of touch points here, and you have quite many touch points, um, in terms of and what I really appreciate is that you have a kind of you have a very and as you expressed with your father, which was really lovely, by the way. Thanks for sharing that. But what you expressed, among other things, with that, which is that it sort of shows how your father's sort of cinema upbringing, in a manner of speaking, showcases that what I really admire. I admire many things about you, but one of the things I admire is you have such a great open mind,
Mm.
and so and you bring that to uh, how you watch films. So I'm very curious to hear how you might respond to this one, which is okay. So you are tasked with the following challenge, should you choose to accept it, which is, all right, someone comes up to you, Vanessa, and says, I have a movie theater, and I want to have a film festival, over the weekend. So let's have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just a weekend film festival. And I don't know what to put on this film festival. I have no idea. The sky's the limit. We can get any film that exists. Sky's the limit. But I don't know what kind of film festival. But I think, Vanessa, with your range of topic and a knowledge base, I think people would be very, very excited to see Vanessa's film festival. And it can focus on, say, films that made an impact on you, or films that are just on your radar. They can be films that you've seen. They can be films that you're curious about but haven't seen, or whatever the case may be. But Vanessa, what kind of films would you have in a film festival that would be Vanessa's personal film festival, to showcase to audience members films that maybe bring out a little bit about your cinema journey, and or the films that really excite the cinema lover in you. So if you could give me a bunch of films that you'd have on, let's say, a Friday night, and then Saturday, and then Sunday. Well, okay, let's think of it this way. Can you think of maybe some double features on the Saturday? What would you have on the opening night? What would you film? What would be the film that would close out the festival, etc.? What would be? And then the sky's the limit. You don't have. You can have it in a particular uh, set of years, or just regardless of years, regardless of genre. What would it be? So you can start wherever you want with that. So Vanessa's Film Festival. How would you curate it? Go.
Okay. I kind of have two answers.
Sure.
Okay, as a primarily a classic film fan, there have been times in my life where I felt intimidated approaching a certain genre. So for instance, for the longest time, I was intimidated by film noir because first of all, I didn't think I would understand it. Second, there's a lot of gatekeeping around film noir, where a lot of people who label themselves experts say film noir, if you're interested, you should start here and only here, rather than giving people like
Sure.
options, or saying this is a film noir, this movie is not. So I felt like there was a lot of gatekeeping around film noir and around silent film, oddly enough. So if I had a film festival that was kind of that centered around my own personal experience with film, I would make it something like anti-intimidation. Don't be scared of watching certain genres where you may feel like pressured to start here, but really you want to start there. Don't feel pressured by people that are gatekeeping and people that want to establish themselves or make themselves experts when they're certainly not. So film noir, again, for the longest time, I was scared to watch it because I didn't think I would get it. And I was scared by all these people telling me, this is a film noir, this isn't. If it's Technicolor, it's not a film noir. Yes, it is. Have you not seen Niagara with Marilyn Monroe? To me, that's bright Technicolor, but the story is noir. So I would start with something like The Big Heat, which is my all-time favorite film noir, starring Gloria Graham and Glenn Ford. That one just came out on Criterion actually a few weeks ago. That's my all-time favorite. Other films like The Big Sleep, Gilda is another favorite. Oh gosh, Leave Her to Heaven with Gene Tierney, another Technicolor
Yeah,
film
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right.
that
Yeah.
people are like, that's not noir, it's in color. Yes, it is. Pay attention to the story. Yes. Also, Laura, speaking of Gene Tierney,
Yes.
one of the first noir films. There's so many places you can go with noir. It's a very complicated genre where so many, like, even if you're watching a police drama or just a plain like romantic drama, some of those have noir attributes sprinkled in. So it's a very complex genre, which I don't want new fans to be scared of. I want people to
Okay.
enjoy these films for what they are, and never mind what other people are telling you. Just go watch them and enjoy them. And then silent film, again, another genre, or not a genre, it's just a type of film, type of movie that I was so scared to watch
Huh.
at first because I'm thinking, am I going to get this? Am I going to like it? Is it going to capture my attention if there's no talking? But silent film for me is a fairy tale. Because you don't hear people speaking the lines, your mind almost has to make up for it. So your mind is constantly working when you're watching a silent film, and not in a bad way, not in a laborious way. It's like a joyful way because you're telling yourself the story. I don't like, it's hard to explain, but every time I watch a silent film, it's just pure escapism and pure fantasy. I remember one of the first, aside from Nosferatu, that I didn't like the first time, one of the other first silent films that I watched was The Passion of Joan of Arc.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh my, that just the visual appeal of that film, it's so emotional, it's so heavy, and it's so impactful. And I feel when you have a film like that, that just absolutely shatters you, when you have that big of an impact, someone who's watching that as their first silent film will automatically want to come back for more, and they'll want to watch others. And there's so many different kinds of silent film. If for kids, I would recommend just all the comedies. So like Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, Fatty Arbuckle. There's so many. Laurel and Hardy that you could start kids off with. And because it's just pure slapstick, kids are so attuned to that. I remember I showed my nephews when they were quite young some Laurel and Hardy skits. They
Hmm.
absolutely loved them. They thought it was so silly. It's almost like for them watching like a cartoon because it's so slapstick.
That's
They
right.
loved it. And it makes my heart so full when I see kids and just people my age or teenagers or older people getting into these films for the first time, discovering them and finding that they do love them.
Ah, okay. This
So
is
those would be my two ideas.
okay.
Like
This is
films not to be intimidated by.
oh gosh. This is uh uh this is fantastic. So there's I think a lot to unpack here as
Yeah.
well. So and you've brought up so many fascinating points here. So let me say your answers here are brilliant. They're very very um they they kind of went sort of how I might have anticipated at first, but they also went in ways that I was completely unanticipating. So this is fantastic for me. I must, and they're great choices. Your two choices here, your two options here. So I have to ask here. So it the films that so don't feel intimidated to watch. And I think what you're saying here, please correct me if I'm wrong. And this is, but I think this is also very important to bring up as well, based on, let's say, your experience. And you don't have to mention names, or you don't have to spill tea or anything like that. That's not the point of this. But the it, what has that has I mean, it's not watching the films, right? It's how maybe responses have been, I don't know, online, or from other sort of, let's say, film communities. Is that what we're talking about here? Something like, has been what has made the film watching part of it intimidating for you in some aspects?
I would say yes, certainly online, but even before the internet, because I've been collecting film books for so many years,
Right, right.
some of the film books that I would read as a kid or just flip through, or books about film noir, silent movies, even westerns, and the way that some authors explain them in their text was that either you need to be a scholar to properly appreciate certain films, or you need to have some kind of technical background to understand the way these films were made. Or in the case of noir, there's a very finite list of films that qualify as noir and others that certainly don't, where I don't think it's as black and white as that. Although literally a lot of noir is black and white, but not all. Um, there's so much more to film than that, and I honestly don't understand why these people who have written these books explaining to its audience the appeal of these films, but yet turning them off, like saying, if you're not good enough to watch these films,
Interesting.
you can read about them in my book, but you certainly can't watch them because you won't get them.
Interesting.
And I came across so much of that as a kid when I was going through these books, and I guess it stayed in my head, where I thought I should just stick to screwball comedies or musicals because I'm not going to get noir. I'm not going to be able to watch silent film. I'm not going to like westerns. When really there's nothing holding you back. Just try it. Sure, you may not like it, but at least you tried.
Huh. Interesting.
I just don't want people to be held back.
Sure, sure. No, that this is, I mean, I think there is a way or there are many ways to to express how much one really loves this type of work. And I think it, especially when there's an approach. Well, first of all, film noir. What is? Let's take a step back here. What is film noir? What are some aspects of film noir to you that would say, oh, these points are part of what film noir
Like it
is?
checks a box.
Yeah, or not check. Maybe it checks a box, or maybe just some point. It doesn't have to be all encompassing, but you mentioned things like definitions, and what just as a frame of reference.
For me, I feel
Yes.
like noir is edgy.
Okay.
It's very shadowy, and I don't just mean the way it's filmed, where there's physically shadows that you can see. Just the story. There's parts of the story that are literally kept from you in the dark, and they're not revealed until the very end. So that to me is noirish. Also, I mean, police drama. I think in every noir, there's some kind of police drama. And I remember reading in a book that at the time, film noir wasn't actually a thing until, when was it, the 60s or 70s, when oh gosh, I think it was someone who wrote for a French magazine gave it that label.
Hmm.
But prior to that, the genre itself was just police drama, or like a men's picture, where you had women's pictures back then. That was like a romantic drama. It was geared more towards a female audience. But when studios wanted to pull men in, they made the drama more masculine. So a lot of those films are now considered film noir, whereas at the time it was just a drama, a police drama geared
Mhm.
towards a male audience. And I think one of the things I had to kind of wrap my head around when first experiencing noir was the story is kind of convoluted. You don't know what's going on at the beginning. You're kind of thrown these hints and these clues, and you have to kind of piece it together yourself. And I think that that was one of the things that intimidated me about noir, that I didn't think I would understand it. But it's such a varied, rich genre of film. And it's got constant ups and downs, like Gilda, for instance, starring Rita Hayworth and Glenn Ford. There's so many twists and turns in that film. There's so many highs and lows that are constantly being tossed at you. And by the time it's over, you almost have to take a breath because you feel like you've just been through the ringer.
Mhm.
So that to me is noir. It's varied, it's shadowy, it's edgy, it's brutal.
Right. Oh, yeah, I like how you expressed it as well. I'm not a film noir expert by any means.
No, no,
So
nor am I.
yeah, uh, uh, but and I think it's very difficult to describe actually, and I think you've done it very well. I like how you say it's edgy. It's shadowy, which is exactly how I would phrase it. It's a film noir films. I think are like. I mean, shadowy in a physical sense, or in a sort of mise en scène,
Yeah,
photography sense, and or shadowy in the idea that there's something hidden, right?
yeah.
There's something to be revealed. So things that are in the shadows, psychologically or plot wise or narratively speaking, those will become revealed over the course of this
Mhm.
story. And it's not just the revelation, but it's also, I mean, the idea shadow, I mean, whether it's rightly or wrongly, it seems to imply a kind or suggest a sense of something that's hidden that doesn't want to reveal itself, or
Yes.
something that's hidden that, when revealed, will totally upend or uh, uh, totally destroy or totally change forever or transform
Mm.
the perspectives of the characters in the story. Because in film and drama, there are secrets that are revealed, and those can be quite revelatory and quite. But there's something about film noir story revelation. The secret or secrets or the
Yeah.
twists, and
And you
when they
can't
occur.
trust anyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not just transformational. It causes, I think, almost a cynical viewpoint in human relations. So it's not like the transformation causes like a further step in the evolution. It's it's sort of reinforcing the notion, right? You can't trust anyone, that kind of thing, even though it's very tempting to do so.
Yeah.
And then it brings and so you're right. It brings in all, because police procedural films are essentially stories about, like, the
Crime.
mystery, right? And then
Yeah.
the crime and the mystery, finding out the truth of things that are in the shadows. And then right, usually characters that the phrase that's often used, femme fatale, or these sorts of things, they tend to be, or they seem to be, characters, or among them being like they are something something to do with what's said, but also something that may or may be, some hidden agenda or
Yeah.
some other plan or plans that are happening all at once, that go to the very essence of sort of the trust points of the characters. And it's also done very in an edgy way, and very very
Gritty.
rough, gritty, rough way. Um, Most of the time in black and white because of the time period, but as you say, that I don't know if it has to be right, a definitive cutoff point as to whether it's a film noir or not. So
Yeah, I think,
uh,
and a lot of these films were filmed in black and white, not
sure,
because they wanted to evoke a certain style. It
sure,
was for budgetary reasons. I mean, films were very expensive to make. And studios are like, oh, this is just going to be a B movie. We'll film it in black and white and save some money on color film. I mean, a lot of these noirs that we know of today were filmed in black and white for budgetary reasons.
Sure.
The studios wanted to save some money and be economical. So we may think nowadays, when we have the film noir label, that these films were filmed on purpose in black and white to evoke something visually. They weren't. It was just the studios wanted to save some money. So when people present that argument where, oh no, film noir can only be black and white, not color, dude, really think about what you're saying. It's not true. There's so many noirs, great noirs, that are in Technicolor. It has
Oh, interesting.
nothing to do with the way they were filmed.
And so this would be the essence of Vanessa's don't be intimidated a film noir weekend.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
that's great.
so.
I think that's really wonderful. And there is a kind of, how should I put it? There, I mean, whether it's in the form of scholarship or film reviews or criticisms, um, and even maybe whether like texts or casual conversations, what have you. There is I mean, at the end of the day, everyone is very passionate about this stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
just how to best express it, um, and in what capacity and what form. So, um, I mean, and it's tough too because, right, on the one hand, one wants to be all encompassing as well as, but I know this is not what you're saying, but there's also this idea of how far, um I mean, if film noir as a kind of genre, whether it
Mm.
was maybe subsequently, post-constructed genre, something that was labeled, or the label was created after the fact, ex post facto, right? So if that is the case, then there's still a way that we can use that as a lens, but then, how far to stretch that definition
Mm.
is also a kind of a key point. At what point does the stretching of the definition take it too far to destroy the definition to begin with? So I think that's where sometimes this feeling of a cutoff point
Yeah.
needs to be
Okay. Yeah.
imposed. But
Fair.
but again, um, therein lies, I think, a lot of rich room for debate. So, but I know that's not what you're saying. Um,
No, no, and I don't want to become a gatekeeper. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
again, this is film is it's entertainment.
yeah,
It's there to entertain and for people to enjoy. And I
yeah.
don't think any of us should lose sight of that. At the end of the day, it's just entertainment.
Mm. It's also it's like, and um there are so many views and opinions.
Yeah. And
um
because like you said, we're all very passionate about it. So of course we're all going
yeah,
to have our own opinions about something.
yeah, it's and it's right. I think it's maybe so well encompassed too in the idea of and I think this is such a profound question, which is, I mean, what you said is it reminds me of the question, um, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And it's right, because I mean, on the one hand, it might seem, and I think that's the great appeal of the question, right? I think it just seems very, very, I don't know, like maybe almost flippant and almost quite,
Mm.
maybe, not not worth my time. That kind of it just seems random on the one hand, but I think that's why it's such a genius question,
Hmm.
because it kind of gets at the heart of this thing, which is it can it can actually be a very profound question, and at the same time be very almost, it just right, if it is, and if almost like the answer doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
What's your opinion on that?
yeah. On what if Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. To
yeah.
me, it is.
So yeah, because a lot of things can happen on Christmas. So
Well, it takes
uh,
place
yeah,
during the Christmas season. What is it?
yeah.
Is it Christmas Eve or the days leading up to Christmas?
Oh gosh,
Like
and
when was that office party? I don't think it was. I don't know, but yeah, to me, it is a Christmas movie.
and also like at the heart. I mean, you could go at what is a Christmas movie? So it's so taking place at Christmas. So that could be one thing that
Hmm.
probably is, but it's also taking place at Christmas, and also some kind of maybe newly forged connection is made that wasn't there before. That tends to be sort of the broad appeal or broad. I mean, that so you can say a lot of connections were made at um what's her name, is it Holly Gennaro or Holly McLean and that kind of thing. So that's the I think that's that to me, those 2 points are what make Die Hard a Christmas movie
Hmm.
for me. And then also just right uh what was it um what was it? You have to throw. Oh yes, three things. So it take place around the Christmas season. It has like points of connection between characters. That's it's like reforging relationships and the family and people who love each other. And then also it has Christmas catchphrases. What was it? Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's it. That's what you need to make your Christmas. So yeah, Die Hard. And what about you? You say yes. You think it's a Christmas movie as well.
Yeah, to me, it's always been a Christmas film. Not just because it takes place around the holidays, but because it brings a family together at the end,
That's right.
and it establishes new friendships, like between Bruce Willis and the cop or the limo driver.
That's right.
There's new relationships created there,
That's right.
and because it's always broadcast every Christmas
That's right.
on TV and streaming. So yeah, to me it is, but I also understand the flip side where some people are like, no, that's not a Christmas movie. I get it. I get it. Again, we all have our opinions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's more about the journey rather than the destination. I think
Yeah.
I think that's the great genius of that. And also, like, what is film noir? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Right. So I forgot not just Holly and John McClane, but also John and Argyle. Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm sorry, I have to. All right. So I'm sorry, I didn't do it in my terrible voice impression of Alan Rickman. Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho. Clay, shoot the glass. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So let's see. Sorry. So okay. All right. So uh, well done, Vanessa. So I'm and then right going back to Die Hard, William Atherton, Ghostbusters. Oh my gosh! So just, I'm
There's a
again.
broad range. Yeah.
Yes, this is great. This. Oh, I'm sorry. So what would be? I'm sorry. What would be? You mentioned some titles there in your before I go to the next question. So your silent movie, silent film festival, and your film noir film festival. What are you mentioned some titles there? So what would be the opening night film and the closing night film for each?
Oh, that's hard. Okay, for noir, because it's my favorite, I'm going to say The Big Heat would be
Okay.
opening night. Closing, you know what? I'm going to have to say closing night would be Gun Crazy, just because it's so unhinged and it's
Okay.
fast, it's quick,
Yeah.
it's a short runtime, it's a B movie. Let's end on a high and just get people in the seats and feeling exhilarated by the time it's over. Because sometimes film festivals can be long and strenuous, and people are tired by the end. And I feel like Gun Crazy would just wake people up.
Those are great opening and closing nights for the Film Noir Film Festival. Let's not be intimidated, Film Noir Film Festival. I like
Yeah.
that. And then what about silent film, the opening night and closing night?
Oh Lord. See, this is hard for me because the 20s, the 1920s is my favorite film era, the 20s and the 30s. Okay, let me have a think. Hang on. I feel like we should be playing the Jeopardy music here.
It's okay. Take your
Okay,
time.
I'm going to start it off
Cool.
with The Gold Rush
Hmm.
by Chaplin, because I feel like that's just, it'll appeal to everyone, young and old. Midway through, I think that's when I would start screening the more dramatic silence, like the meatier ones, maybe Passion of Joan of Arc and Flesh and the Devil. That is my favorite silent film, starring Greta Garbo and John Gilbert.
Mm.
God, I love that movie so much. And then to end it, oh goodness me. You know what? To end it the same as the noir one, where you get something punchy and quick at the end. Girl Shy, starring
Mm.
Harold Lloyd.
Mm.
That is a wild ride from start to finish, and I think that would really pep people up and have them leave the theater in the mood to want to watch more silent movies and explore that era on their own. Yeah,
Oh, I like that very much.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that very much. Oh, oh.
Another good one is The Wind. That one I would have again in the middle, a more meatier
Mm.
one,
Mm.
starring Lillian Gish.
Mm.
That's a fantastic one as well. So dramatic.
Oh, that's great. That I like that very much.
Mm,
Yes. Oh gosh. Oh, this is wonderful, Vanessa. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. How are you on time? Are we
I'm
almost
fine.
okay. All right, me too. I'm okay on time. Sorry. This is great. I'm just having so much like it's like it's just like this, it's like time flies.
Yeah.
It's just like oh, it's like, the two towers. That feels like it was, I feel like that. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. Um, so um oh gosh. All right. So I've said that. Okay. Okay. So you've the film. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Here's another more creative one. I
Mm.
hope. I hope. But you take this however you want, which is okay. So I know that you said primarily you said 20s and 30s, but you also go into. Oh, by the way, maybe just to start this, what would be some of the most did you let's see. We spoke a little bit about the recent Ghostbusters films. What are some of the recently made films? Like what are some of those that you've seen lately?
The last one on God, what is it? Sunday? On Friday night, I watched Sinners.
Okay.
Oh, one of the best films I've seen this year. Amazing. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't
Oh,
seen that, and I
Daiso.
haven't seen you mentioned also Mickey 17, I think, was it?
Yeah, Mickey
Yeah,
17
from
was
last
good,
month. Yeah, okay.
but Sinners was just on another level.
Really.
The way it was, I would break it into halves. So the first half of the film is very story rich and a lot of character development. And the way the first half is photographed in like blinding sunlight, it's captivating. It looks absolutely beautiful. And again,
Mhm.
the story itself is so rich. And then the second half of the film takes place at night. So it's a lot darker, it's a lot more shadowy, it's creepy. It's wow. The music in this film, I read in certain articles that people label this a musical. And going into it, I'm like, how can it be a musical? It's about vampires in the South. But yeah, absolutely. The score just stands out and it adds so much to the film. Oh God, it was like another character. The music was another character to me.
That's great.
If you watch it, let me know what your thoughts are like right away afterwards because I astoundingly good, amazing.
And that brings us back to where we were earlier in the conversation about vampire
Yeah,
films, and also how you described that just now is like how you described Nosferatu, right? The in terms of the construction, right? The exposition
yeah.
part of it. Oh, it's interesting. Well, that's interesting. So as I've heard many great things about them, but
Yeah.
I just haven't had a chance to see it. Like, you know, it's that, or like, I mean, gosh, when I'm gonna, I'll go to the film after I have to drop off my kids here, and that's it. So it's just,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Life
things.
gets in the way.
Yeah, but I'll have to try to catch that. Is it? I know it's already out on disc. I don't
I
know.
rented it.
Okay, okay,
But yes, it is out on Blu-ray and 4K and even DVD.
okay.
But one thing I will say, and I was told this, so my cousin and my best friend were the two people that recommended I watch it because they thought I would really like it. But
Hmm.
my cousin made sure to tell me to watch for the hidden scene after the end credits. Because
Okay.
you're usually watching a movie, you shut it off at the end credits. You're not going to watch the whole thing.
Or it's like Netflix or something. They
Right,
say
right.
like
Like
it's like
skip.
that little thing at the bar, like go to the next film.
Exactly.
Yeah, go to the next film like here, and it goes yeah, it cuts the credits out. Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
jumps to the
So
next episode, yeah, or something.
if
Yeah.
you do watch it, and for anyone who's watching this video, if you haven't seen Sinners yet and you would like to, make sure you watch after the credits.
Okay.
Don't shut it off
Okay.
because there is a very important part of the story that you're going to miss out on if you end it too early.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that
Yeah.
advice. Okay, I'll have to again. There's a lot of catch up I have to do on that. So, okay, so those are some of the recent films that you've seen, or the recently made films that you've seen,
Yeah.
recent releases. So, and then what are some of? Can you name some of? And you can go across time. Um, can you go down the list here? And again, it doesn't have to be like ranked or anything, but just can you name some of your favorite? Let's start with the filmmakers or artists behind the camera. So usually it's like, what are your favorite directors? And that's okay, but you can extend that to producer line, or you can extend it to writers or cinematographers or anything. Who are some of your favorite artists that you've encountered in your cinema journey? Directors, producers, writers, etc. Uh, name a few, and they can be in one time period or across your choice.
Okay, Christopher Nolan. I think he is just an unparalleled filmmaker. Him, Buster Keaton, I have to mention him, and Chaplin as well. Their originality, like if you think back to the 1920s when these guys first started, actually the teens, the 1910s, when Hollywood was just coming about, no one knew how the cameras worked. No one knew how set design worked. Everyone was wearing their own clothes for costumes. The things that Keaton and Chaplin came up with and the way they filmed them, they did their own stunts. I mean, it boggles the mind. How did these guys come up with these pieces, these films, these stunts? How? And some of them are like death-defying stunts. You watch Keaton and even
Right.
Harold Lloyd, you watch them doing these very physical stunts, and
Sure.
some of them go wrong. And it's caught on camera. Like you see them tumbling and I mean Keaton broke his spine when he was filming a stunt for I think it was the General. I it
Sure.
like I'm
Yeah.
speechless. I can't understand how these people executed and thought of these ideas when no one else was doing it. These guys were the first. So them for sure. In terms of producers, I really liked the films that Irving Thalberg did
Mm,
1930s at MGM before he very prematurely passed away. I think he was 36 when he died. The films he made at MGM were so rich in tone, rich in finances. I mean, MGM was one of the largest studios, and they had the money to spend. And his pictures were, a lot of them were historical. So, like Marie Antoinette was one of the last films he worked on, and just gorgeous pieces of filmmaking. Todd Browning, I mean, he was probably the first director I fell in love with after seeing Dracula, 1931. His sense of storytelling and his creativity. I mean, he had armadillos crawling
Yeah.
around Castle Dracula,
Right.
and they didn't even, I don't think they even existed in Transylvania back then.
I,
Just
I
his
didn't think of
sense of
that.
fun
Huh.
and his sense of creativity,
Oh.
and the way he lit, and the way he designed his sets. I mean, Dracula, if anything, yes, I know it's not the most fast-paced, entertaining film, but the set design of Castle Dracula itself is immaculate.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
that's right.
And I would say
I
in
love the bit. I'm so sorry I'm sorry. I have to say that at the beginning when he's standing in front of the big cobweb and then
Spiderweb.
yeah, I love that. It's
Oh,
so simple. It's so simple, but it's just so effective. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's great. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
no,
Please.
no, and it's so true. I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the reasons why I love early classic films so much, is because it is simple.
Yeah.
Nothing was, well, not everything was overly complicated back then. You had a simple backdrop, like fake spider webs with a fake spider and a fake bat.
Yeah, the bat. Yeah, yeah,
But it
that's
was
great.
just so, it has such an impact on the
Yeah.
viewer.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I love too about that film, speaking of simple, was when you had the close-ups of Bela Lugosi and he's staring directly at the camera.
Mm.
And you just have these like two flash points in his eye where you know that someone is standing off camera with a literal flashlight, shining it into his eyeballs. Like,
Yeah.
it's simple, but
Yeah.
yet so impactful.
Yeah. Or like the scene where they discover the ship,
Mm,
and all the like the it's everyone was massacred on the boat. The
yeah.
idea, and it's supposed to be this huge bloody thing, and people are like impaled on bodies, and but you see the shadows and
Yes.
and you see like the guy right over the guy on the wheel or something.
On
It's
the
just,
on the
yeah,
wheel, yeah.
yeah. So and that's very gruesome stuff, but done very well. And so I mean, you mentioned that it was one of those very impactful films for you. When what was it? It
Yeah.
was your mother who showed it to you. Is that what you said earlier?
My aunt.
Your aunt, excuse me.
My
Yes,
aunt is the one that
yes,
showed me that film.
yes.
And actually, during that scene when they discover the shipwreck and all the bodies on it, the voice that you hear
That's right.
saying when they find Renfield under the trap door,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Oh, the man's gone crazy. Look at his
Yes.
eyes." That's Todd Browning's voice you hear. So I don't know if a lot of people know that, but that's the director's voice that you hear off camera.
So this is appearing about maybe, yeah, still kind of early on in the film.
I
Yeah.
would say maybe like half an hour in,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
20, 30 minutes in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
So
Todd Browning's voice you hear. Yeah.
that's, oh gosh, yes. And this was, yes, yeah, I'm so sorry. Yes, it was your aunt that you mentioned earlier that
Mm.
showed it to you. So the one of the scary films for you
Yeah.
in your your cinema journey. So but okay, I'm so sorry to interrupt. So these are some of the names of that. And the reason why I set up the question in that, or asked you to provide those responses in that way, is my question to you is, so you can, you have this option, or you have the power to choose which filmmakers, directors, writers, producers can work with whatever actors you want. So if you had your dream matchup, which actors would you match up with, which producers or directors or writers? Now, the catch is, I want you to try to pick combinations director actor combinations that have never worked together before, or they can be from different time periods. So
Mm.
what would be some of those dream combinations that you'd have? Like, oh, I would like to see such and such director have worked with this actor, this actor from the 90s, maybe as directed by someone in this director who worked a lot in the 40s or something, or vice versa. Or you can take it however you want. So what would be some of those dream matchup combinations that you would have
Okay.
liked to see, given your great depth of cinema devotion and cinema knowledge?
Hitchcock and
Sure.
Gary Oldman.
Oh gosh.
I
Okay.
feel like that would be an amazing pairing.
So Gary Oldman in that way would be, how would Hitchcock use Gary Oldman? Because Gary Oldman, would he be like the innocent on the run,
See,
or
that's the thing. I can picture Oldman as either a Hitchcock villain,
yeah.
because he's good at playing villains, and I can also picture him being a Hitchcock everyman like Cary Grant or James Stewart was.
Oh wow,
So
really?
I think,
Wow.
I don't know where that pairing would go, but I think it would go far.
Wow.
So that would be one. Uh, Buster Keaton as a director, and I want to say Will Ferrell, because Will Ferrell is quite good at comedy. Or even like Jack Black working with Buster Keaton. I could see that.
Wow. And that would be what, like, these would be comedy films. These would be, what would you
For
envision?
that pairing, I would choose comedy. Yeah.
So Jack Black and Buster Keaton.
Yes.
Okay. And then what about Jack Black? I'm sorry. What about Buster Keaton and Will Ferrell? Same thing,
Same.
or?
I can see a comedy there.
Oh wow.
For drama, oh gosh. Let's say David Lean
Okay.
and do you know who Stephen Graham is?
Oh, Stephen Graham. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
British
yeah,
actor.
yeah. He was in among other. And he's been in a lot of things. So he was among other things. I mean, he's been so many things, but like Martin Scorsese, The Irishman. He played
Yes.
a sort of supporting but key role. Yeah. Stephen Graham. Yeah,
I think
he's
a
also
lot of people know him now from Adolescence. That
yeah.
was just on Netflix. He played the dad.
He was also in a small role in a film starring Gary Oldman called The
Yes,
Tailor Soldier
Stephen
Spy.
Graham
Yeah,
is a wonderful character actor that is
he's
in a
great.
lot of films,
Yeah,
but you may not notice him. I feel like not enough people speak about him. He's
he's great.
fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm
But yeah,
sorry. So, yeah, Stephen
yeah,
Graham.
yeah. And I want to pair up Cillian Murphy with someone. He's another phenomenal actor.
Oh, I'm sorry. So before Cillian Murphy, I'm sorry. It was pairing Stephen Graham with
David
whom again?
Lean.
David Lean. Thank you. So David Lean and Stephen Graham. Wow. Okay. So that would be like
I feel like that would either be an epic or like a heavy drama, or like something like Lawrence of Arabia, like an historical epic. Yeah.
that's amazing. So Stephen Graham would be in a type of maybe Lawrence of Arabia type of film. So we're talking about a Lawrence of Arabia type of David Lean film, rather than, say, I don't know, like I don't know, like a summertime type of film, or
Yeah, no.
okay.
Like more of a heavier
Wow.
subject matter.
What kind of the widescreen epic type of film?
Yes.
Wow. Interesting. Never thought of that's an interesting pairing. So David Lean and Stephen Graham. Wow.
And maybe the last one, James
Sure.
Cameron and Daniel Day-Lewis. I would love to see two modern.
Sure. Yes, of course.
I would
Huh.
love to see them paired. because I think they're both absolute geniuses behind the camera and in front.
Oh my goodness, that would be great. That like it would be. What kind of film would that be?
I don't know. I feel like them two paired up could make anything.
Maybe it would be like they would make a film about, I don't know. So Daniel Day-Lewis, he was also trained as a
Yeah,
shoemaker,
like a
right? So
cobbler. Hmm.
cobbler, thank you. So it would be maybe maybe it would be directed by James Cameron, about the main character would be the cobbler, the shoemaker, and it would be like a film that would be made over the course of, it would be like a 10-year production
Yeah,
run
I
or
don't
something.
know.
Yeah, that would be
I don't
great.
know,
Yeah,
but
it would take 10 years to make. That's fantastic. Yeah, and it would be um maybe 3D. I don't know, but that would be so cool. Yeah.
so many possibilities with
Yeah.
them too.
Oh, those are great choices. Those are, and I'm
Mm.
sorry, you mentioned Cillian Murphy as well. When I
Yeah,
cut you off, I apologize.
I feel like he would be well paired with Hitchcock as well, because he's got that very mysterious, not intimidating, just intense quality to him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think he has, it's his
There's like
eyes,
a
I think. Yeah.
broodiness.
Yeah. And so suggests either a kind of maybe uh 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 I mean, maybe like a damaged soul type of
Mm,
sensitivity, or it could be quite uh
menacing.
menacing. Yeah, mysterious and menacing. Yes, I
Like
like
the
that.
way he is on Peaky Blinders. I feel like his performances are so varied. He can play um, so many different like attributes of a character. He just nails it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether he's damaged, like you said, or he's more of a malicious type of. Oh God, he's so talented.
Yeah. I have to ask you too, which is, so you mentioned off the top of that, which was Christopher Nolan. So if you had Christopher Nolan paired with, let's go back in time, Christopher Nolan director paired with some of actors of the previous eras, who might they be, and what kind of project could it be?
I almost want to say I want to pick some women here as well. I would
Sure.
say Christopher Nolan and Ida Lupino.
Oh, wow.
Because
Okay.
Ida Lupino was always very intense when she was on screen.
Yeah.
She was a little, very slight woman, very thin, very, very petite. But my God, that woman could pack a punch with her performances. She was just dynamic on screen. So I think Christopher Nolan and her would be quite an astounding pairing.
Oh, so Ida Lupino, right, in front of the screen. Yes. So, oh, that's
And
great.
also behind, because I mean, she was a director and a producer, so
That's right.
maybe her and Nolan could collaborate behind the screen as well.
That's right. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. So oh gosh, so yes, that would be interesting. Christopher Nolan, yes, Christopher Nolan, Ida Lupino.
Greta Garbo and Wes Anderson.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I never thought of that, but that's perfect.
The way he photographed. So I watched my first Wes Anderson film this morning,
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Royal
Okay.
Tenenbaums.
Okay. We spoke a little bit about this,
Yes.
right? Okay. Okay.
So
Please.
the way he photographs things and the way he picks his colors. Like for him, I noticed that he seems to favor green a lot. The greens are much more vivid than the blues in his films. And I think Garbo was one of the most majestically beautiful faces in classic cinema, in both silent and films of the 1930s. The way she was photographed, just the planes of her face
Yeah.
will just make you speechless. So I think he's known for a certain style
Yeah.
of film and a certain visual appeal. And I think him and Garbo would have, oh God, they would have created such a thing of beauty if they had been able to collaborate together.
That's really great. I love that. These are all great. That's a lot. What did
I'm
you
going to
think of the
stop
Royal?
there.
What did you think of the Royal Tenenbaums, by the way? You can be honest,
You know
please.
what? It wasn't my favorite film that I've seen, but I'm curious now. I want to watch
Mm,
more of his work. I
yeah.
liked that the film was it was very much centered on character development and storytelling. I liked that. It was almost like watching a play, going to the theater and watching a play. Uh, so I am interested now, and I will explore more of his work.
Oh, great. Oh, that's so. Where might you go next? Possibly.
What's the one? Is it? What's the one in the hotel?
Oh, the Grand
Grand
Budapest
Budapest.
Hotel.
I think I
Yeah,
may go there next.
that's a good. Yeah, I think that would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be good. Those are good. Those are really, really popular, I think, among
Okay.
Wes Anderson's filmography. So you go there because it's. I think it is a little bit. I remember my first time watching a Wes Anderson film. It is a bit of kind of, what do you call it? It's a learning curve, I think, for
Yes.
me anyway. It's very jarring. It's like, what is this? That kind of a feeling of needing to catch up to the way the aesthetics work. But
Mhm.
once you get into the groove, I think it really there's a it does. I mean, so I remember that I feel that way. I remember feeling that way. Sometimes you have directors who have a real strong style that it just takes a little bit to just get into the groove. But once you've found that, it really it becomes very fun and very engaging. But
Yeah,
I know for some directors, for me, I know it takes a while to get into some of the stylings. But oh, that's great. You have to keep me posted on that.
I
So
will.
it's just I'm sorry. I don't want to keep you too long, but you'd mentioned earlier about your father having a kind of screen crush on Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
So I have my own screen crushes. I have for example, let's see. Oh yes, I my one of my early screen crushes was for Joan Fontaine. So I love Joan Fontaine.
Yes.
Any Joan Fontaine film, I'm just like I'm yeah yeah. It's my and so what and who are some of these? Oh, and also um I like James Bond films. And so
Mhm.
I think my screen crush in James Bond was Mariam Dabo in The Living Daylights. So I'm
I
just
don't think I've
yeah.
ever seen that one.
Oh, it's an '80s film, so it was made around the time of Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
Who was
So
Bond then? Was it Moore? Roger Moore?
no, it was Roger Moore had just finished the
Okay.
film before, so it was the new Bond film at the Bond actor at the time who was Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Okay, yes.
Timothy Dalton, who is, I think, I have this sort of thing on the channel about we have particular actors that we have these appreciation
Mhm.
society fan clubs for. One is Michael Shannon, one is
Love
David
him.
Warner, and one is Roy Scheider. I want to set one up for Timothy Dalton. It's because of James Bond and for a film that he also did later, which is called Hot Fuzz,
Mhm.
which is great. But yes, so those are, and then you said your father, as I said, is Sigourney Weaver. So what are some of those screen crushes that you had during your cinema journey?
The first one I had was Bela Lugosi.
Oh, great.
So odd.
Great. That's so great. Yes. Oh, so
At
was it
5 or
just
6 years
Dracula?
old, I
Yeah.
absolutely fell in love with him. And anytime I would see him in the pages of a book or in the newspaper, I mean, it wasn't very often because in the 80s and 90s, no one really spoke about Bela Lugosi. Just he was my very first screen crush. And then that kind of brought me to Boris Karloff because then I started watching Frankenstein and then the films that Lugosi and Karloff did together. So
Hmm.
then I was obsessed with him. And Garbo. Garbo is
Oh.
I still crush over her. I cannot take my eyes away from her.
What are some of your favorite Greta Garbo films?
Well, Flesh and the Devil, which is
Yes.
my all-time
You mentioned
favorite
that before.
silent.
Yep.
She starred in that.
That would come in the mid part of the film festival, right?
Yes, the
Yes.
heavy, because it's
Yes.
quite heavy and
Yeah.
it's long, but fantastic film. And then I would say she was wonderful in Camille
Mm, yeah.
and Anna Karenina.
Yeah. Yeah.
She wasn't the best actress starting out, like in the 1920s, in the mid 20s, when she first came to Hollywood. She wasn't the best actress. None of them were really. I mean, it was a whole new medium. And you have to kind of keep in mind that the people in front and behind the camera, it was all very experimental in the 20s. None of them really knew how to act, except for the ones that came from the stage, from the theater. They knew how to act and how to project emotions. Um, but then she did, if you watch her films chronologically in order, you can see there's real development there. I mean, at
Mm.
first, she didn't even speak English. She didn't know a word of English when she came to Hollywood. She's originally from Sweden. And you can see the development, the learning curve that she underwent. And by the end of her career, she's fantastic on screen. Her comedic timing was very good in Ninochka.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of people don't necessarily think of Garbo as a comedic actress. She primarily did dramas. But yeah, she was fantastic. I
Oh, I
love.
agree. That's that. Yeah, I 100% agree about that. You have a wide range. Yeah,
Yes.
it's sometimes, yeah, get should get more credit for that. You're absolutely right. Oh, that's great. That is great. That is great choice. Those are great choices.
Mhm.
And I must also applaud, yes, so Greta Garbo and Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Um, uh, and what are some of your favorite Boris Karloff films, by the way?
I love the Black Cat that
I
he
was gonna
did
say,
with
yeah,
Lugosi.
Lugosi pairing. Yes, of course.
Yeah, and actually even David Manners, who is Canadian and was in Dracula 1931, he is
Oh,
also in
yes,
the Black Cat. That's
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 right.
one of my favorite pre-code horror films. The style, it's very Art Deco in terms of like the set design and even the costume design. It's very creepy, awesome film. So I would, and you know what? Oh my goodness. An early Karloff film that not a lot of people know he was in was Scarface, the
Yes,
original Scarface.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So it's funny because whenever I hear someone mention Scarface, they're mostly speaking about the Al Pacino film. And then when I say, did you know that there was a Scarface from 1932? No one knows about this film.
Oh, really?
Everyone just
Oh.
looks at me with a blank stare, and they're like, "Is it the same story?" Yeah, it's about mafia, drugs. So yeah, he
Mm.
Boris Karloff played a very minor role in Scarface. He's There was a documentary that Shudder aired or streamed about Karloff during the pandemic. I can't remember what it's called now. It's still on Shudder. It and his daughter is one of the talking heads that's
Mhm.
interviewed in this documentary. And the way she speaks about her father is so endearing. He just seemed like the biggest teddy bear, such a warm heart. And the fact that he's mostly known for his horror movies, it's such like it's such an opposite view of the way he really was in real life. He's fantastic. I love Karloff.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you mentioned his role. As you say, it's relatively smaller than it's
Yeah.
not the lead, but in Scarface, but it's there. So
Yeah, he's only in it for like minutes.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the character's kind of crucial, but yeah, the running time appearance, yeah, it's relatively minor, but it's still the Boris Karloff,
Yeah.
unmistakably. So, oh, this is fantastic. Gosh, I gotta. So I'm gonna. This I love this. I love this. This is why you are so popular. As I said, I was mentioning before. The my YouTube channel. So many people ask, "Oh, Vanessa's so great. Have her back on." And just to get so much like feedback. It's like, what do you call it? the YouTube analytics,
Hmm.
they spike. I kind of get, they spike
Oh,
yeah, they kind of like when you were on, they were just, it was great. So I was like, oh gosh, this very, very popular. And um, even I say this very, very affectionately, but it's even where you you have, what I love about you so much, among many things, is you have this great way of um of like, even where something might be, I don't want to say controversial, but
mm.
even where something might be, let's say, it might, we might think that, oh, someone out there in internet land might provide some, let's say, not so favorable feedback, or might vehemently disagree, you know something like that. What I really appreciate about you so much is you always have this, uh you are not going to waver from your own view. And you mentioned this earlier about, like, you talked about, let's say, Gone with the Wind
Mm.
previously, or you mentioned earlier about, what was it, Ghostbusters, right? The
Yep.
Ghostbusters. But what I love about it is, what I love about how you approach it is, don't you're not intimidated by that, by how people might react. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Star Wars, that kind of thing. But or that, but it might have some reaction, but it doesn't matter, because that's your view, and that's your background. I mean, you tried it, or it just didn't work, but you have this approach to expressing your viewpoint, which is, I think, also very, not just reasonable, but also very. Uh, I mean, what else would it be? Because that's your viewpoint, and I think you expressed it very
Yeah.
well. It's not. It's very. I think it's very refreshing to
I
hear that.
never want to offend anyone. Listen, we all are different.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this community, or the community of film lovers, so awesome, is that none of us are always going to agree on something, on anything. We each have our own opinions, and you may not like my opinion on something, and vice versa, but that doesn't matter. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it doesn't matter. We like what we like, we don't like what we don't like, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a movie. It's meant to be fun. Again, it's meant to be just pure entertainment. We're not always going to agree, and that's okay.
And I really appreciate that, because it makes me want to just keep asking questions and keep talking, because it's really, I mean, just hearing your responses, because it really is very refreshing. And also, you bring in so many different things. Like, as I say, I was just I'm still trying to catch my breath, and I mean that 100% complimentarily, because it's always fun to try it's very fun to try to keep up with someone who's just who knows all the references, but then adds a few more, and I'm just, oh gosh, there's that, oh, what, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep, so I was trying to hide it in my facial expression the entire way through here, but believe me, I was like, oh, oh gosh, this is so exciting. I'm gonna try to I
We
gotta
may
try to
have to
think, yeah.
make this a trilogy.
Oh my gosh, the Peter Jackson, was it
Yeah.
Return of the King? But if we do Return of the King, that means we have to be careful, because it's just, you have like multiple endings. It'll just never end, or something. But it ends, but it ends again, it ends again, it ends again.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I love Return of the King. Don't it's great. It's probably, I don't know. Um, it's probably the one where I think I visited the least, not because I
Mm.
dislike it, but I just feel so exhausted
Yes.
when it.
Same.
Do you feel the same way? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I remember sitting in the theater for that one. And because, like you said, because there are so many end scenes and endings, like I would say the last 40 minutes is all endings.
Yeah.
Like it's tying together all the different storylines. And I remember sitting in the theater, and being physically exhausted,
Yeah.
looking at my watch saying, okay, is this going to end now? Not because I wasn't enjoying it, but I was just shattered by the end. I needed a break.
Yeah, and it is so it's what is the phrase? It's like a uh um I mean, it's such a release out of
Yes.
everything that's happened.
Yeah.
And then just at the end there with the whole thing, oh, the ring is mine. Oh no, Frodo. All this stuff. It's just like I can't take it anymore. I'm just so exhausted. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great, but that's what it's all
It's a
leading up to.
workout.
It is. So that's why it's the one that I think. I mean, when you watch the first one, you have to watch the entire thing. I get it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I do. It's a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we'll have to do yes, Return of the King,
Yeah.
very soon. But Vanessa, before we go, I want you to have the last word. Um, are there any? Let's say this: are there any films? You've recommended so many great ones. You've recommended so many great film book titles. You've talked about films that you want to try to get into. You've talked about some films that you've just started, like Wes Anderson, you mentioned just a moment ago. You went from 20s and 30s, and then Hammer Horror and Sinners and Terminator 2 and Hook, and Greta Garbo. And Christopher Nolan and David Lean, et cetera, et cetera. So wonderfully all encompassing. So, what are some of just leave us with, and you can take this to as many films as you want. Leave us with some final titles. What are some, and you don't feel like you have to end it at, oh, I'll end it here. Just take it as far as you want. So, what are some final titles here? What are some films that you think maybe you want more people to watch? Maybe they aren't part of the conversation as other films, or maybe they're just films that you'd be really happy to see people get. You said you're so happy when you see young kids watching like the Laurel Hardy
Mm-hmm.
works before. You mentioned that as well as others. So what would be some things that for people who might be watching, what would be some films that you would be so happy to have people watch or give a try, even if they might not like it at the end of the day? What would be some things that you'd be that would you'd recommend to us in that vein?
One of my favorites, it's actually my favorite Hitchcock film, is called The Lodger. I wish more people knew about that film because I think when you mention Hitchcock, people automatically think of Psycho and North by Northwest, Vertigo, which are all fantastic films, Rear Window, but I wish more people have seen The Lodger. To me, it's almost like watching a vampire film because it's so creepy. The way some of the scenes are filmed, it's very foggy, and you see the main character in shadow, and he's got part of his face hidden. It's very vampiric.
Yes, Ivor Novello. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So that's one, The Lodger.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. It's an early Hitchcock film, right?
Yes,
It's
1926, I think.
thank you. And it's a silent film,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. So that's my favorite Hitchcock. And I would also say I wish more people had heard about The Thin Man, which is
Oh,
it's a
yes.
whole series of films. I think, and I can't believe I'm going to get this wrong. I think there's about 8 to
Yes.
10 of them in the
Um,
series. Every single one of those films is fantastic. But start with the first one, The Thin Man from
all right.
1934,
Yes. Sorry, I had to.
starring Myrna
Yes.
Loy and William Powell. I wish more people knew about this
There
film.
we go. These.
There we
Oh,
go.
okay. Yes.
Amazing film.
Yes.
And it's like a mashup of different genres. It's definitely comedy, definitely pre-code, and there's a lot of mystery and suspense in it.
Yes, that's right. So, these are yes, the Thin Man films. So William Powell and Myrna Loy. Yeah, yeah, that's great. I love those films so much.
I'm just getting a low battery thing. I think
Oh,
my
okay.
laptop is gonna die.
Okay. All right. All right. So, before the death of your battery, or the death of your laptop, I want to say. Let's end it with the Thin Men, or do you want to have one more to
No,
close it
end it
out?
with the Thin Man.
Let's do it. All
End it
right.
on a high.
And that's great. So there's a series of films, Thin Man, Shadow of Thin Man, Another Thin Man,
Yeah.
After the Thin Man. It's so and there's like there's a baby, and so it's all cool. It's great. So, all right, Vanessa, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
I hope that many people will, and I know they will. They'll respond to a lot of your recommendations. If you watch or read any of the recommendation books or films that Vanessa has mentioned here, please let us know in the comments section how you feel about those. Did you watch The Thin Man after you saw this? Or did you rewatch like Nosferatu or Dracula or any of the Hammer horror films or any of the films or that we spoke about? Please let us know in the comment section below. So it'll make me very happy. It'll make Vanessa very happy, and we'll continue the conversation from there. Vanessa, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. This was such an honor. Thank you very much. I had so
Thank
much
you
fun
very
today.
much, Dice Gates. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
Oh yeah, the pleasure's all mine. Pleasure's all mine. Believe me, such an honor. So we'll do this again. So thank you so much. All right, and cheers. Thank you. And